I've been doing leatherwork for nearly 10 years, and if there's one skill that terrifies basically every beginner leatherworker I've ever spoken to, it's hand skiving. People will do absolutely anything to avoid it. They'll buy a bell skiving machine, they'll buy a French beveler, they'll send it off to be split because they don't want to do just the edge. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I hand skive leather so you can avoid the same mistakes that I made when I was a beginner. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Hodges. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out enormously, and I cannot wait to show you guys how to hand skive leather. And without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So I'm going to be using two knives for today's tutorial. One is from Ibex Ironworks and the other one is from Junlin. Both are beautiful, both are very different. One of them is American made, the Ibex, and one of them is not American made. I don't know where Junlin makes his, I think China. I'm also going to be using three types of leather. So I'm going to be using two veg tan and one retanned. And I'm going to be using a wing divider. Now you can do this by eye, you can just wing it, so to speak, and get your line perfect without a wing divider. However, I would strongly recommend using one. There's also kind of two ways to hold a skiving knife. One finger at each end or one finger in the middle. So what we want to do is we want to put a line down where we're going to skive, and that line is going to be our guide for our knife. That's going to change depending on your project. So if you're stitching with a 4mm stitch line, you want this to be about 4mm, so it's roughly in the middle of your stitching holes. Now the way I like to do this is one finger in the middle, push most of your pressure down into your plate. Now I recommend skiving on a granite slab, which this is, or a plate of glass, something similar to that, because you want it to be completely flat, because any bumps in the plate that you're using or the slab of whatever it is that you're using to skive on will change the thickness of this skive because you're pushing the leather into that bump. And don't try to do this in one pass. You want to keep the same pressure on the blade at all times, or as best as you can, obviously, and put that most of the pressure down into it whilst using the rest of the pressure to push along. You find at the end that you have a little fluffy bit at the edge of the leather. Now this is not a fault of your own. This is because the leather is a bit soft and kind of hangs on to the edge of the leather. You can solve it in two ways. You can either solve it by sharpening your knife, which will take it off more easily, or you can solve it by doing a little bit of a sort of weird pass at the end, which you just saw me do, sort of snipping it off if you like. Some people burn it. I don't like burning it personally, but that's just me. The reason I'm showing you on a couple of different leathers is because, for instance, this brown leather is very soft, so it skives more easily, but it also stretches with the blade. It will make it a little bit harder for beginners, but makes it a little bit easier when you have a really sharp knife, because very stiff leathers are hard to skive, but for other reasons. They're not stretchy, but they're really hard to push your blade through. You will also find, this is what I was talking about getting the little feathery edge off at the end, but you will also find that when you're skiving leather, whether it's very soft like Nova Nappa or very stiff like a full veg tan like this one is, you will have to strop your blade very, very frequently. You'll have to strop your blade a lot because leather is abrasive at the end of the day. People use leather for things like strops, and that takes off material from a blade, so it's going to be abrasive in that sense, isn't it? So when you're pushing it through leather, it takes your sharp edge off very, very quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the second method on this one, just so you can see it. That is one finger on each end of the blade, keeping your blade as low down as possible. There's two factors at play here. One is the bevel of the blade, and second is the height of the handle off your surface. So if your blade is very, very shallow and you hold it very low, you're going to get a very shallow skive. Does that make sense? So there's kind of there's lots and lots of reasons why we would do hand skiving. We can splice things, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because I'm about to make a fully spliced crocodile tail belt, which is a hell of a mouthful of words, but that's going to be fun, and that requires a lot of hand skiving. And the other reason is because if you're joining several things or you're making turned edges, you have to be able to hand skive. Now there's lots of methods of doing it. There's bevel hand skiving, there's flat hand skiving, there's loads of methods. This is not giving you a fish, this is teaching you how to fish. Because once you've learnt this method, this way of doing it, which I'm going to let you watch for the rest of the video, then you'll be able to skive your own leather. But the trick for the top is exactly the same as the bottom, but you can slip more easily. So if you're skiving the top, because it's much smoother, take your time a little bit more, because you can slip your blade into somewhere you don't want to skive. But I will let you watch the rest of this rather beautiful leather skiving, and I'll get back to you in a moment. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, really appreciate it. As you can see, we're in a new studio, so give me a minute to get used to this new surrounding area. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a phenomenal weekend or week, depending on when you're watching this.